I do want to thank everyone for coming here, and especially to honor these two great gentlemen, extraordinary gentlemen, that done of extraordinary things. And the fact that we have over 20,000 live-in veterans in Albany County and continues to grow says a lot about this county. The men and women serve. And I see my predecessor here is Mike Breslin, who also was a West Point grad and served in Vietnam. Mike, thank you for not just your service, but your service to the county. To all the veterans, and I like to say this, and the fact that less than 1% has donned that military uniform, think about that. And we have a population up to like 330 million Americans, and 1% puts that uniform on. They didn't do it for the money, they didn't do it for the medals, they didn't do it for the pats on the back. They did it because they wanted to serve. And you can live in this greatest nation in the world, and we are the greatest nation in the world, because of men like this and women that have gone off and served their country on foreign soil to defend our rights, to give us the rights to believe in who we want to believe in, be who we want to be, and practice what we want to practice. Agree to disagree with your neighbor, but yet still live in a country where you can protest everyone, disagree with everyone, kind of like Tess does, and still not get locked up. We should change that for you though, Tess. We should lock you up. But to really enjoy that type of freedom. And that's because of the men and women that put that uniform on. And if you think about all the conflicts, we've lost 1.1 million Americans that gave their life, this ultimate sacrifice.
Under God's grace, we are gathered here to honor two of the humble heroes of our military, Lieutenant Commander Howard Fox and EM1 Jack Marshall, who have become role models in our community. We are here to celebrate their continued service, having already proved their courage, their nobility, and their loyalty to flag and country. These men, who will say they were just doing their job, stand proud in a world where respect and principle appear to be waning. They interrupted their lives so that the rest of us could live our lives without interruption. They and their fellow soldiers have risen above apathy, finding better ways to educate, to heal, and to share their wisdoms in the ever-growing hope that our families, communities, and country would flourish in peace and prosperity. God bless Howard and Jack and all of our veterans, those still with us, and those who have given their last full measure to protect us. In sincere humility, we thank each and every one of them. God bless America. Amen.
This is the 13th event that we've had since 2013, and I do want to thank my predecessor for starting this, County Executive Mike Hoblich, and our Congressman Mike McNulty for doing an honor vet, and for Mike Breslin carrying it on for all them years. And I started to talk to veterans, and I'm like, how'd you know him? How'd you know her? And they're like, well, I didn't, but they made a difference in my life. They helped me. And I said, what better way to honor a living veteran to hear from people that have nice things to say about them, or how they changed someone's life. And I always remind the family, that person had a ripple effect on someone's life that you'll never know, you'll never hear about, but they'll talk about your loved one, and they'll explain to them the great things that they did and how that course of action changed their life around. Thank you, not just for your service in 3 wars and your continued service in the Navy, but your service back to the community and the changes that you made. Your invasion of southern France, you were at the conference with President Franklin Roosevelt. That had been who's older, him or the mayor? Roosevelt.
Well, I think the mayor was correspondent.
Oh, okay, I just checking. But you also served in North Africa, Russia, Korea, China, France, Italy, Vietnam. And there's probably a lot of other countries that I'm leaving out, Howard. And I do want to say what an impressive record that you had. What an impressive fact that you've seen a lot. And I do want to say, and the fact that you were married to Ruth for 38 years.
42.
42. God bless that woman. Yep. She must have a special place up in heaven right now.
She is.
She is, right?
She's looking down now.
Looking down, saying, keep you here longer, because she probably doesn't want to see you after 42 years. But The other thing, I was like, you were a busy man. You had 6 children, 15 grandchildren, 14 and a half grandchildren. Yes, 14 and a half. Another one's due in January. Wow. All right. Amazing. And being with Jerry for 4 terms. Wow. I thought Phil was crazy. But I do want to bring up Harvey Martell. But before I do, Harvey, to talk about everything, Mayor, would you like to say anything? You sure?
Howie enlisted in the U.S. Navy at the age of 17. And if I get on the right page here, I'll get it to you. Here we go. Told you, Howie, I had a lot of stuff here on you. He enlisted, here we go. U.S. Navy at the age of 17 in 1943. He had served over 33 years, both active and reserve. He served during World War II. He was with the invasion of France, Korea, and Vietnam. He served with the 6th, 7th, and 8th Fleet. He also had reserve duty with REDCOM 2, which encompasses the northeastern states. He also was on active duty from 1980 to 1983 with the 3rd District Recruiting Command. He served on the staff of the New York Naval Militia. Civilian life, Howie retired from New York State with over 35 years of service with the Department of Labor and the Department of Taxation and Finance. He was also on the personal staff of Major Jerry Jennings. Howie thought he was actually the Deputy Mayor of Albany. Howie is a lifelong member of the American Legion with over 74 years as a member. He has served as the Albany County Commander in 1994 and 1995. He is currently a member of the Joseph E. Zaloga Post, 1520. He's a member of the Benevolent Order of Elks and the Capital District CPO Association. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to Howard J. Fox.
I'm very humbled to have been picked as one of the younger people to receive this honor. I thought I was the oldest here, but the gentleman alongside me here who's just told me he's older than I am. I didn't think there was anybody older. But anyway, I want to thank everybody, and I don't know, what's your name?
Jerry Jennings' sidekick.
Oh, Jerry Jennings. Oh, yeah. I want to thank everybody for being here and for bestowing this honor on me, which I never expected. Thank you all.
I don't know why all these people are coming up here, but obviously Howard had an impact on their lives. And you know, I became the mayor in 1994, but I had known Howard before that. But when he walked into my office one day, I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I work in City Hall." I said, "Oh, really? What do you do?" "I don't know." So after about 3 weeks, I thought he was in charge of personnel. Only female workers, okay? And you know, I was a mayor for about 3 weeks, and I had to rush up to an event on Madison Avenue. I said, "Howard, come on, drive me over to Madison Avenue." This is before any police assigned to me, because Howard was assigned to me. And we're going over Lark Street, bang, through one red light, boom, through another red light. I said, "Howard, what are you doing?" He goes, "Didn't I tell you I was colorblind?" I said, "No." That ended his driving career, for me anyway. But we've had a lot of great times together, and he made my office happy, regardless of who he hung up on, who he yelled at in the phone, regardless of people that came in. And if we were going to interview anyone, he wanted to be involved, and you know what he wanted to be involved with. But he really had a lot of friends and impacted a lot of lives in a wonderful way. And Howard, I want to say, I enjoyed my 20 years as mayor and having you with me. I really did. You brought a lot of laughter to my office. You brought a lot of people. We had a lot of fun.
You know, when you reflect and you look back on history, and I always remind kids, put the tablets down, sit at the feet of a senior, and really learn what history's about. Not what you read online or you Google, because I don't know how many parents are in here, and you ask your kid a question, and they go, "Oh, give me a second." Oh yeah, that, it's like, can you even think on your own anymore without your little phone in your hand? And the extraordinary things that you did when you came home, it is why it was the greatest generation that we ever had, because I think it was like 16.8 million Americans went off and fought in that war. Went out and defended us during World War II. And it's an honor to stand here, Jack, to really thank you for everything that you've done, and especially when you came back. Because just like everyone else, he just didn't live an ordinary life. And I hate to say ordinary life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he led by example. And he led by doing great things and just showing his neighbors and the people surrounded by him and his family and his loved ones to say, look, what you can achieve without saying anything. And that's why I always remind people, actions are louder than words. You can sit there and preach all you want, but at the end of the day, it's the action that makes a difference in someone's life.
Jack enlisted in the U.S. Navy at 18 years old, immediately following the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941. For 4 years, Jack served as an electrician's mate, first class, and following his initial training, he was sent to Casablanca for 6 weeks, which is where he would receive his first orders for deployment. Jack served aboard the USS PC-556 submarine chaser in the European theater, as well as the PC-556 was assigned to the waters between Italy and Germany with the specific intent of hunting down and sinking German submarines. Following his mission in the European theater, Jack was reassigned to the Far East, where he would serve aboard the USS LST-169, a tank landing ship in the Asiatic Pacific theater. Mr. Marshall would go on to play active roles, as County Executive McCoy had already mentioned, in multiple Allied operations, including the Atlantic Theater, the invasion of Angio, the invasion of southern France, the Anzio-Naterno advanced landings, the Sicilian occupation, the Gilbert Islands and Marianas operations, and the preparation for the invasion of Japan before the bombing of Hiroshima turned the tide of the war. During his tenure, Jack survived many catastrophic events, including, among others, a devastating typhoon near Japan, which caused the loss of more than 100 of his sister Allied ships, and an 8-month stretch being lost in the North Sea. Jack, the crews he served with, and the ships to which he was assigned all received multiple commendations and battle stars for their valor and bravery. With that, Jack, I want to thank you on behalf of a grateful audience and a grateful nation for the service you selflessly provided and the sacrifices you've made for this country, and congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
I feel both honored and humbled because, I was only one of many young men who were in service and served as best as we could. But this today is a very solemn day, I think, and I didn't want to break the solemnity of it, but I thought I'd let you know that the gentleman that I was sitting next to told me that he thought that he was the oldest man here. And I said, no, I'm older. And he said, what do you mean? Anyway, I said, I'm 96. And he said, I'm only 94. But, I have weathered a lot of storms. For example, my beautiful wife and I have been married for 72 years, and we've had only 4,578 fights while we were married. But I'm lucky in many ways, because if you'll notice, I have most of my hair.
More than Phil.
At my age. And I don't walk very well at all anymore, but I do walk as much as I can. And I have two friends of mine who, young people that become friends, they've been acting as my medical aides for over 2 years now. And I want to thank them for their service to me. So with that, I will tell you that I want to follow the magical rule of a good presentation. The KISS approach. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Thank you very much.
We have a coin and a county pin to present to him, and proclamations that Mayor Jen's going to give to Howard and Chairman Joyce is going to give to Jack. So I do want to say to you two extraordinary gentlemen, thank you for letting us see a glimpse of your life and all the good things you did. And I do want to say thank you. And thank you to the legislature for helping out. Thank you.